So, play along English. So, if we're going to be doing play along with English, this means that you need to put this video on the starting point. We'll put it in the video so that you can just click and press play when your game starts. So what this is going to be is ensuring that you listen to what I do, and I'm going to be talking you through what you need to do so you can put this video on the second screen while you are playing the game. So while you're playing the game, you just follow exactly what I tell you to do, and we're just going to be executing the first few minutes of a build. So in this case, it's going to be English with a king, and we're going to be using that as much and as clearly as possible. So at the same time, we're going to be putting a sound bite over when you need to make sure you make a villager as well. So you do not skip out on a villager. So we should be a few seconds apart, but that's okay. You could just pause the video another second and go from there. All right, so let's get going. But first, I'm going to select my TC and build a villager. All my villagers are going to go straight onto the sheep. I move my sheep into a good position under the TC. Click my scout and send them out to go and scout the map. Now, I'm going to scout to the middle of the map, and I'm going to be turning to the one side so that I can bring my sheep back to base where they need to be. Do not let your villager pop out at the side of the TC. Rally it onto a resource. In this case, still the food. Our second villager, we're going to be rallying it onto the gold so that we can send our next villager out to a gold, and he is then going to be building stuff. He pops out now, and we put a house on his way to the gold and a mining camp right after. If you see your opponent's scout while scouting, you can change direction, but because I'm playing against the bot, I'm going to just do my normal scouting pattern and go from there. The next villager is rallied onto gold as well.
Villager.
And while there's very few things happening at the start of the game, I'm moving my sheep under my TC a little bit more so that my villagers can just ensure they are as close as possible and they drop off as quickly as they need to. Make sure that with that second villager that you are helping build the mining camp so that there's no idle time and he doesn't run back to the base. So third villager also rallied onto gold. He's now on the way to gold. And now the next villager will be rallied onto food. Right now we are at 7 on food and 3 on gold. When we have 7 on food and 3 on gold, we are in the optimal position to start re-rallying onto food. So now with this, I am going to go and rally onto wood. I'm 8-3 right now, and finally I'm going to be switching over to wood. The reason I do this is because it's a beginner's build, and I want you to follow it through, just like it's the easiest thing to execute. So, my villager is making a lumber camp right now, and then going to be chopping a tree. Scout is now making its way back to the TC, and he's going to be dropping off my sheep. Now, with this scout, I'm going to go scout a little bit more of the map, and I want to be able to see what my opponent is aging up with. Around now, you should have enough resources to age up with. So, let's drop off our last bit of gold and age up. This is going to be a king age up. I take 4 villagers.
4 villagers from food.
To age up with the Abbey of Kings. My scout is constantly key bound on number 2, so that I can click between him and between my TC. Key bound on number 4. The rest of my villagers are constantly rallied onto wood. So, non-stop, I'm just going to be rallying my villagers on wood. I still have 3 villagers on gold. And now I'm going to go and get myself a mill pretty soon. I have 4 villagers on wood right now. Villagers are still rallied onto wood. But now I will switch it over to the berries so that I can put a mill down and think about getting my first upgrade. By this point, you should have about 100 gold. Now, my favorite upgrade to get at the early stages of the game, especially if you're up against an aggressive civilization, is wheelbarrow. Our villager pops out, we're going to put a mill down, and we're going to start rallying onto wood again. It's so important to keep rallying onto wood as English, because English uses a lot of wood. Now we're going to rally onto wood, and we're going to slowly see that our population is filling up. So we want to build a house. One of the wood villagers are going to be building that house. And now you should have enough. Your mill should be finished, and you should be able to get wheelbarrow. My wheelbarrow has now been started. You need 50 wood and 150 gold to do so.
Villager.
The villagers are about to finish the age up. When they are done, I'm going to rally them onto wood. So, by this point, you will then have 10 on wood. Now, usually at 10, you can re-rally onto food, and this is exactly what we're going to do. Now, as I've just aged up, I'm going to be able to get another upgrade. So we're just waiting for our villagers to drop off the gold, and then I want to get double broadaxe. That's from the lumber camp. So we'll just wait for a little bit more gold, and there it is. Now I get double broadaxe. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go for a horseman build.
Villager.
So I make a stable with 1 villager. You can also make it with 2 villagers. So making this stable with 2 villagers because I want to start getting units out. At this point, my king is about to come out. With that, I want to make sure that my king can go and hit his base. My scout is on its way back to deliver the second load of sheep, and the king just got out. Keybind your king to number 1 so that you can keep an eye on him. Your stable is finished. Let's make a horseman. And remember, villagers, villagers, villagers. Now, we do see that I'm floating a lot of wood. And with English, that just means it's time to start adding farms. So this is the great part about English. You're not going to run out of food. You're just going to add farms. So with the amount of villagers, about 9 on food, you should be able to constantly do this. So now the king is all the way out here. The scout has dropped off food, and I'm going to send my scout forward. Make sure your horseman is also running that way. You're going to see you keep floating wood, and that's okay. Now we're going to add more houses, and I'm going to keep making a horseman. Another horseman is created. And this is just going to get better and better. Now I have 140 gold again. If I have gold, I have to use it. So let's go get horticulture. Horticulture upgrade is now made, and I'm just going to keep adding farms so that villagers who rallied from the TC, they are going to be the ones building these. Now my military units are here at the front, and you want to go and hit his economy. You want to make sure that you find an opening. So we ask ourselves, where can I attack? Where are his resources? So I'm checking the deer, but I see the deer are all still alive. And make horsemen all the way. We want to make sure all of our horsemen are together. Don't take unnecessary damage, but if you do, remember, you are playing the king build. The king can heal up. You just don't want to take too much. So now this is an opportunity. I found some villagers, and I want to attack. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to charge in, a move next to them, charge in, get a little bit of damage. But we see the TC is firing. I don't want to lose my units. I pull them back. Now this horse is a little bit injured. We don't want to be losing that horse. And now you see I'm still floating resources. Way too much. And I'm getting to a higher number of gold. Now I can add a blacksmith, and I can start getting upgrades as well. Make sure all of our units are together, and the ones that are healthier, I'm going to keep doing this with. Now I want to put my scout in position so my units know where to charge, and I charge in again, and pull back. We just don't want to make sure we take too much damage.